So I'm very excited to welcome my good friend to this little short mental health. May, of course, is Mental Health Month, and so we wanted to do these 31 releases about mental health. And so I have my good friend Patrick Graham, who is here. Patrick, of course, is a pastor. He's the youth director for Allegheny East Conference, but he just started recently his the counseling program at Washington Adventist University.
Right.
And so, Patrick, I want to thank you for coming on.
No problem.
And we want to just talk a little bit about anxiety. And so we know that anxiety is something that you have talked about many times, that you have struggled with. And so I just want you to just tell the folk a little bit about you, a little bit about your anxiety, and then we're going to talk about at the end of this 5 minutes, this resource that you're working on.
Yeah. It's had to be about maybe about 10 years ago that I recognized it to be anxiety that I had. I was having panic attacks, couldn't breathe, muscles were always tight, couldn't sleep at night, insomnia, very high anxiety. It was something that I couldn't even make it through the day. There were times when I was even driving in the car, you just want to run out of the car, heart starts racing, just so many different things. And then when the other side of it is that it almost puts you into depression because you can't do the thing that you normally do. Everything frightened me. It came from a fear standpoint. Um, so I have to say that it was it's debilitating. It was difficult. It was difficult to make it through. I know a lot of people go through it and don't know what it is. I thought I had a brain tumor, and when my doctor told me that I was a healthy physiology was healthy, I knew that it was a part of my mind, and I went and sought help for it.
Sure. So a lot of people experience anxiety, and anxiety can look a lot of different ways. Like
True.
it can have somatic symptoms where your heart is pounding,
Yep.
where your palms are sweaty, where it could have mental clarity issues where your mind is racing, you can't find a way to go to sleep. So, what are some of the tools that you utilize to sort of manage your anxiety? And then I want to talk to you just a little bit about what led you to go into counseling to try to help people manage their anxiety.
Sure. Um, I started to go on a regimen. I needed a tight regimen as far as my time was concerned. I started to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but before that, I had to go to sleep earlier. So my wind down time started at that time started at 9 o'clock. I had a wind down time. And now I go to bed around 10:30 right now. Go to bed, and not necessarily to sleep, but I go about 10:30. And I live by tasks, and I live by highlights of the day, and I don't pressure myself. A lot of it was due to pressure, so I don't pressure myself. I also I need to get back to it, but I also read the word in the morning. And I also, as a therapeutic, I use music for therapy. That normally helps me along the way. I want to add one thing for Pat Graham. Everybody has to have their own thing. I have to learn to say no, and bring the expectations of others down on me. That was a big part of my anxiety. To say yes to everything. So that's one thing that helps me. A couple of things that help me.
And of course, the prevalence of something like anxiety is high in the United States. Like 18.1% of the population over the age of 18 suffers with an anxiety disorder.
Yes.
One in five people suffer with a mental health illness. And so during May, we try our best to sort of reduce the stigma.
Right.
So, of those numbers, 36% don't even seek treatment for their anxiety. They just try to
Wow.
deal with it. So, what was some of the reasons that you went into doing counseling? And then talk to us about this BALM resource real quick.
Oh, well, one I went back. First of all, it was a love of mine. I think that is a part of ministry. I've started a couple of times. We both started together in in counseling psychology, and I cannot do youth ministry without that extra piece that will help me. There are a lot of our kids or a lot of our young adults that's going through anxiety that I could only give them a spiritual side of it, um, and I also would refer to a plethora of my friends who are counselors, or put them on to different counselors. I would refer them. I needed to get this degree or this certification in order for me to be able to legally counsel in the state of Maryland, and planning on getting the other states that covers the region that I'm in. So I wanted to go back to school, not only for that, but it also helps me. It unpacks things for me also. So I am going through the degree. I still have another year or so to go to be able to make it
Yeah,
through.
I can't wait to torture you in my class when you
Yeah,
take my classes.
it's
But
coming. It's coming.
real quick, as we end, there's
Yeah,
only supposed to be
sure,
5 minutes. As
sure.
we end, talk to us about this great resource that you came up with, this Balm app. Just talk to us a little bit about it.
Okay, so I thought it necessary to build an app called Balm. I got it from a balm in Gilead to soothe the soul. Um, it's an app that has storytelling for sleep, music for sleep, more going to the sacred side. Gives has master classes that's on there to help those who are going through anxiety. It also has a way to talk you down from a panic attack. There's so many different parts to it. It's about maybe 8 or 9 different categories that will help a person who's going through anxiety and even stress, going through stressful situations, depression, can't sleep. That app it'll be coming out shortly.
Okay. Listen. If you want information on the Balm
Yeah,
app, just go to www.bombzone.com.
right.
Patrick, I want to thank you for coming on
No
for this
problem.
Mental Health Month. Mental Health Month is May, Mental Health Awareness Month. We have to do our part to sort of end the stigma, and so join us. I can't promise this; it'll be 10 o'clock every single day, but join us every day. Here, we'll talk a little bit about mental health and
Sure.
see if we can share a few resources with individuals. Bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Listen.